Today we're going to talk about relations. Relations are a concept that is going to be very used a lot throughout the entire rest of this unit. Okay, so what we call a coordinate grid or a coordinate plane is when two number lines intersect. Okay, we have two axes when we form that. One, the horizontal one is called the x-axis, and the vertical one is called the y-axis. Okay, the point where that x and y axis intersect is called the origin, and that origin is always the order pair 0, comma 0. Okay. We also put points on the graph that are called ordered pairs. Ordered pairs. Okay. Any point that has an x and a y is considered to be an ordered pair and falls on the graph. Okay, and here's a picture here of everything that is on those notes, or on the things that we just talked about. Okay. A relation, which is what we're talking about today, is just a set of ordered pairs. It's basically a bunch of ordered pairs that are just added together, okay, that are grouped together all in one. Okay. We also have our x values. X values are always considered our domain, and our range is going to be our y values. Our range is our y values. So let's do an example. Okay. It says we're going to draw a mapping diagram. Okay. When we draw a mapping diagram, we're going to do two ovals like this. Okay. The left oval is going to be your x. The right oval is going to be your y. And what you do is you order your x's. You just write in order what your x's are. So 0, -1, 2, -4. But if you have a repeating x, you don't have to write it again. So you see how we have two zeros here? Those we only have to write once in our mapping diagram. Then the y's, we do the same thing. So we just write our y's. So we have 0, 3, 5, -2, -7. Okay, what we do is then we draw lines that connect our x to our y. So you see how we have the point 0, 0. So it goes from 0 to 0. We're going to draw that there. Then we have the point -1, 3. So from -1 to 3, I draw an arrow. Okay, then we have the point 2, 5. So from 2 to 5, I draw an arrow. -4, -2, draw an arrow. And then I have this last one of 0, -7. So again, from 0, I draw a line to -7, just like that. A table is when we just draw an XY table like this. And we just list our x's the way they are in order. So it goes 0, -1, 2, -4, 0. And this time you do repeat. Okay, you do repeat the numbers. Then you just write your y's next to it. 0, 3, 5, -2, -7. Just like that. For graph purposes, okay, remember you always start at the point 0, 0. Okay, the graph 0, 0, it's that middle, that's our origin. That's going to be the intersection of those two lines. Okay, -1, 3. The -1 means I go left 1, and the 3 means that I go up 3 units. So left 1 and then up 3 units, just like that. Okay, the 2 tells me I go right 2, and then the 5 tells me I go up 5. Right there. Okay. -4 means I go left -4. The -2 means I go down 2 units. So right there. And then 0 means I don't go anywhere. -7 means I go down 7. Which would be right there. Okay, so let's do another example. You get a mapping diagram as those two ovals. X is on the left, Y is on the right. We'll number in order, so it goes 5, -2, 1, -6, -4. On the right, it goes 0, 5, 3, 1, -1. We only have to write everything once, and then again connect. So it goes from 5 to 0, draw a line. -2 to 5, draw a line. 1 to 3, draw a line. -6 to 1, draw a line. And -4 to -1, draw a line. Okay, then we do the same thing to make a table, XY chart, and just again, number your X's in that order, and then you put your Y's right next to them. Okay, and then to graph it, 5, 0 means I go right 5, and the 0 means I don't go up at all. So that's going to be right there. Okay, negative 2 means so we start at the origin, to the left 2, then go up 5. 1, 3 means I go right 1 and up 3. Negative 6, 1 means I go left 6 and up 1. And the negative 4, negative 1 means I go left 4 and down 1. Okay, remember you always do X first, then Y. Okay, the next thing we want to talk about is domain. And what domain is a list of all your X values. But the thing about domain, you have to write everything, you have to order them from smallest to largest, and if you have repeating numbers, it only gets written once. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty, so give me a second here. Okay, so we look at our X's. What is our smallest X value? Right now it's negative 5, so that will be written first. What's the next smallest? That's negative 1. Okay, remember looking at X's. What's the third smallest X value? That's 0. And then 2 gets written at the end. Okay, range is the same thing, but this time we're going to do our Y values. So we're going to go smallest, which is negative 7. Next smallest is 3. And then we have 5, but because 5 is written twice, we only have to write it once, and then we go. So on letter B, again, domain is X, so we're going to look at our X values, and we're going to order them from smallest to largest, so it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our range, our smallest Y value, because range is Y values, is negative 4, so we go negative 4, 0, 3, and 12. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the same thing from a graph. So again, we're looking at domain. Domain is our X value, so our smallest X value is right here. That X value is negative 7. Our next smallest is this one for X values, and it's going to be negative 3. Our next smallest is that one there, which is positive 2. Again, we're looking at X's. The next one is that one, which is positive 3. And the last one for X's is positive 7. For range, we're going to look at Y values. So for Y values, the smallest one is always the one furthest on the bottom. It's that one there, which is negative 7. Our next smallest one is negative 2. And it's that one, which is positive 3. And that one, which is positive 7. And then the last one here, which is positive 8. Okay. For letter D, you notice that this is a straight line, and because it has these arrows, it goes on and on forever. When you have a straight line like this that goes on and on forever, your domain and range are the same thing, and what we say for that is all real numbers, and that's the same for range. And this is because no matter what I do to that graph, it's going to hit every possible X and Y value, so we're going to say all real. Okay, when we're analyzing a graph, okay, the graph shows the volume of an air balloon as Alyssa blows it up until it pops. So in this one, every time that she's increasing here, here, and here, that means she's blowing the balloon up. When it's flat here, here, and here, that means that she's taking a breath. And then right here, you notice that it's just a sudden drop off, and this is where it pops. That balloon pops. Rocco rides his bike to the park. The graph represents the distance, okay? Anytime that it's increasing, that means that he is riding his bike at that time. When it's flat like it is here, that means he is taking a break. Okay? And the reason that this side here is steeper than this side here is because this means that he is riding faster than the other side. Okay, the graph represents the height of a basketball after Hadley dropped it from the top of a ladder. Okay? Anytime that this is dropped, that means that the ball is going down. Okay? Anytime it's going up, that means that ball is rising, which means this ball is actually bouncing at various heights. And then when it's flat down here on the bottom, that means that it's just rolling along the ground. Okay?